So today's episode actually was inspired by one of our coaching calls. One of our bootcamp coaching call students asked a question and said, "Hey Todd, how many leads should I send to my acquisition specialist per week?" And by the way, if you're listening to this and it's just a solopreneur, hey, this also might be really good for you because that may be, "Hey Todd, how many leads should I be generating for myself every single week or day, for that matter?" And the answer is going to be different than what you think. Okay, it's gonna blow your mind here because you're going to start to see the power of compounding. But before I jump in today's show, if you have not been over to our website, head on over to nextlevelwholesaling.com, and there you could download an assessment. It's going to have you rate yourself in the 4 core areas of your wholesaling business. That is marketing, acquisition, disposition, and profit accounting. Okay, basically how much money you're making every single month. And so if you have not been over there, go ahead and check that out. Also, if you want to reach out to me on Facebook, catch me on the Wholesaling Inc. Facebook group. Go ahead and join me there. If you go to wholesalingincgroup.com, you can join that group and just hit @Todd Toback there, and I would love to connect with you. And so the question that I got was, Todd, hey, how many leads do I need, or how many leads does an acquisition specialist need every single day to really thrive? And so before I just give you the answer, I want you to understand the psychology now that I've done this business myself and I've coached others and I've also managed others to partner with me on this. And so what I have found, number one, is that there are 2 evils. The first evil is not enough leads, right? Where you are not bringing enough leads every single day, and you're basically calling 1 to 2 people every single day, maybe, or a week, and that's not going to be enough, right? And that is bad, okay? That is really bad. However, the only thing worse than too little leads is too many leads. Now, I can tell you, you're like, Todd, I don't know how that could be. Too many leads. So what I have found is that especially if you have someone working for you, too many leads is worse than too little leads, because the person who's working for you, right, if they have too many leads, what they're going to do is they're going to start to see these leads pile up, and it's going to feel like they have an infinite amount of leads. And so what they start to do is go through these leads as fast as humanly possible, without nurturing them, without asking the questions, without using the sales skills, without being patient, right, without following up. And they start to now look for the lowest hanging fruit, starting to throw leads basically in the trash. And so they become blinded by any opportunity that's not ready to sell their house 50 cents on the dollar right now. So why is that worse? Well, because you are investing your hard-earned dollars into into leads. And so the only thing worse than not closing deals is spending money trying to close deals and then not closing deals. So you're pissing away money every single month. And so you want to hit this medium where you have leads coming in consistently every single day, so that, number one, you can bring in consistency into your business, because that's the important thing. But then also that you are properly following up and nurturing those leads. So I could tell you that when I was operating like an amateur, what I would do is I would send out a bunch of marketing. I would wait for all the leads to come in at once. I'd have my team follow up, and they'd follow up like a banshee. Then they would lock up a deal. And then when I would see it was getting kind of close to closing, I would then drop more marketing, which sent us on a roller coaster of leads coming in and leads not coming in at all. It's also emotionally exhausting. And so what I learned was it was best to have leads come in at a very, very consistent pace. Drip, 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 every single day. Okay, not too much, not too little. And so the first thing that I'm going to tell you is consistency is everything. Because, number one, is you want to create a cadence for yourself or cadence for a team member, right, to what your day looks like. Number two, though, is that you got to remember that At the end of every day, you should feel like, oh, I wish I had more leads today, because you now have to dig into your database and work your top 20. Okay, your top 20 leads are your 20 hottest leads that you are working at any one time. And so not only are you going to have the 5 that you're working today, but you're going to have your top 20 that need to be followed up on or refocused on or rethought about or moved out of that category and move something in. So that being said, it's better to have too little leads than too many. You do need leads to come in. The most important part is consistency. If you wanted to nail this, what I have found is that 5 leads a day per acquisition specialist, this includes yourself, is the right number. If you don't have a lead manager calling in front of you, 5 leads a day. Now, what does a lead count out of? If you're cold calling or you have someone cold calling for you, anyone who says I have any interest in selling, that's a lead. If you have a web form and someone submits a web form, and if that lead comes in and it's the right phone number, that's a lead. If someone called off a postcard and hung up, that's a lead. Okay, because you're gonna have to call that person 3 times, 2 times, 1 time, right? Back to back to back, text them, send a video, get them on the phone. That's a lead that needs to be nurtured. If you have too many leads, you're not gonna follow up on this. Okay. If you're text blasting and someone says, I'm interested in selling, that's a lead. And so you should work 5 leads per day. And you're like, Todd, how can I make a living on 5 leads a day? Watch. Okay, because you're only taking the short-term approach and not the long-term approach. So think about it. 5 leads come in. 4 of them, total garbage, right? I get it. But you got 1 lead. That's impossible. 1 out of 5. The next day, guess what? Same thing. 5 leads. You got 1 possible. Okay, now you got 2 leads. At the end of the week, now you got 5 leads. 5 possible leads who actually have a real interest. Those are 5 real leads. At the end of a month, you now have 20 real leads to follow up with. In 90 days, you have 60 leads to follow up with consistently. Now, I don't know about you, but once you have 60 leads in your pipeline, and now you got new leads coming in every single day, you've got more than enough people to call. More than enough. Imagine 6 months down the line, that's 6 times 6, wait a minute, that's 25 a month, right? So you got, that's 25, 5 times 4 is 20. So 20, 40, 60. So you've got 120 people, solid leads, 120 really solid leads, people who you've pre-qualified to follow up with in 6 months. And at the end of a year, you're gonna have 240 people who you have to follow up consistently, people who have some kind of problem. Of course, some of those people are gonna come off your list and on your list, but it all starts with those 5 a day. And so you will build over time. Now, I know there's a lot of ifs, ands, buts, but I'm talking all leads that come in, period. There are a couple exceptions here, okay? If I've got a wrong phone number or as a telemarketer, that does not count as a lead. That's how we do that on our team. But whatever standard that is, here's my challenge for you. Could it be 6? Yeah. Could it be 4? Sure. But my recommendation to you is, number 1, create that consistency in your business. Number 2, if you're working on your team, make sure that you are reviewing leads with your team every single week, right? Make sure that they have a top 20, but review their top 3 with them every single week. And if you do that, you're going to refocus your team and you're going to have deals coming in consistently every single month. So this question, by the way, was James. He asked that on our coaching call today. So first of all, James, if you're listening to this, I want to give you a shout out. Glad to hear that you're thinking about these things. You are crushing it. And I love your questions. So feel free to email me, support@nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com. Send your question in. Love to hear from you, and would love to hear your next success story. Just to review, better too little leads than too many. Consistency is more important than volume. Make sure you're following up. For me, 5 is the number. Make sure you're holding your team accountable. Okay, and over time, you're going to see those leads swell. Make sure you head on over to nextlevelwholesaling.com. Take that assessment. Let me know what you think, right? Reach out to me on Facebook. Join the Wholesaling Inc. group at wholesalingincgroup.com, and I will talk to you on the next episode.